Hi, everybody. Good Wednesday morning to meteorologist Travis Klineski. It's Thanksgiving Eve, and we have got some great weather shaping up for today. Bit of a chill this morning, nothing unusual for this time of the year, and we're on our way to fast rising temperatures. There's a backdoor cool front moving into northeast Nebraska, but that front kind of just stalls out, so it should not affect the majority of the local 4 viewing area. Clouds will remain just off to our northeast as well, so everybody's seeing all kinds of sun. Bit of a southwesterly breeze, not too bad today. Most of the day under 10 miles per hour. Out east, maybe a little more of a southerly wind around Lincoln, Beatrice areas. Heading into tonight, a quiet night ahead of us. A little chilly, but nothing unusual for this time of the year as that front kind of starts to work back to the northeast as a warm front. So we'll keep the skies clear. A lot of sunshine tomorrow and mild temperatures once again. About the biggest difference tomorrow, 2 big differences. One, the winds are going to be stronger out of the south at around 10 to 20 miles per hour. And then later in the day, clouds will start to roll in from the west. So we'll start to see an increase in clouds late in the day and especially into the nighttime hours. And in fact, we'll start to see rain chances move in after midnight Thursday night. That rain will start to develop mainly near and east of Highway 281, O'Neill to Grand Island to Hastings eastward, and really not up north towards O'Neill. It's more going to be, I'd say, east central, southeast Nebraska, and northeastern Kansas once you get east of Highway 281 there. So the Tri-Cities, a small chance of rain after midnight, probably more likely after 3 o'clock, would continue into Friday morning, but the chances are better the farther east you go, and in fact, as you go much farther to the east, we have a much better chance of rainfall here. In fact, look at the game day forecast for the Iowa City area here for the final game of the Husker season between the Hawkeyes and the Huskers. It's an 11 a.m. kickoff. There's a chance of some light rain prior to the game in the morning hours. A little chilly out there. Temperatures try to get into the 40s. Not a bad day, considering what we've had the last couple of games for the Huskers at least, but that rain chance continues to increase and get a little heavier out there. So this looks like a pretty good soaker out there in Iowa City. This could be kind of a constant rain throughout most of that time frame here. And notice the winds start to pick up a little bit more through the game, so they'll get a little bit breezy out there, especially by the third and fourth quarter of the game. So we'll see if that impacts the game at all, because slippery ball, slippery field may certainly impact things just a bit out there. Back to our forecast for here in Nebraska over the next couple of days. Let's look at those highs for today. Pretty darn good, looking good forecast there. That's low and mid 60s, upper 50s off towards the east. Now, a little bit of chillier air there in extreme northeast Nebraska. Again, I mentioned that backdoor cold front today. A little cooler there, but the really cold stuff stays just off to our northeast, up there in the blue shaded areas of Iowa, Minnesota, South Dakota, North Dakota. So we don't have to deal with that at least. Overnight tonight, then we'll get the blue. We'll cool back into the mid upper 20s and lower 30s for overnight lows tonight. Tomorrow's temperatures about as warm as today, except with a little more of a south wind. And up in northeast Nebraska, it actually won't be quite as chilly up there tomorrow because that front kind of retreats back to the north just a bit. Now let's look at the rest of this forecast for the next several days to come here. We'll start you off first off with the good news, and that's the next 3 days. Again, today and tomorrow, lower 60s. Now, I should say 62 in Lincoln on Wednesday, not 61. I didn't get that number updated here. In fact, I'm going to do that real quick here before we get too far. I forgot to update that, so I do apologize. But yes, it is going to be 62 today in the area here in the Hastings and Grand Island Kearney area, I should say, although I have a forecast of 63 for Grand Island. And then 61 tomorrow, so pretty comparable, breezy south winds. As we get into that late Thursday night, Friday morning time frame, a few shoppers out, of course, maybe a little bit of light rain. I don't think we'll see much here in the Tri-Cities. Better chances out towards, say, Lincoln, especially later in the night into Friday morning. And in fact, even Friday afternoon might linger in Lincoln just a little bit out there. Here in the Tri-Cities, we'll dry things out pretty quickly by the late morning into the afternoon hours, and maybe try to get a little more sun later in the day to help get that temperature up into the upper 50s. Then there is the weekend. Not so nice. Now, Saturday actually still gets up into the 50s, and we'll hold off on rain chances until the mid to late afternoon hours. Rain will start to move in mid to late afternoon into the evening. Then later in the night, after 9 o'clock, we'll start to see a transition from west to east of rain changing over to snow. That snow really gets going as we get into late Saturday night, and then starts to taper off early on Sunday morning, a little bit after sunrise. So I think by the mid to late morning hours, the snow's done in the Tri-Cities, maybe through the early afternoon in eastern Nebraska. But the big problem with the snow is also the wind that we're going to be dealing with. Let's take a little bit closer look at our future cast here when it comes to this weekend. Again, taking a look at Saturday, see the increasing clouds. Chance of rain starts to move in the afternoon. Out west, they may start with some snow initially, then change over to rain later in the day before starting to change back over to snow as colder air works in. That colder air pushing eastward, we'll see that transition over to snow sometime during the evening hours in the Tri-Cities area. At times, maybe a little bit of heavier snow that we'll have to contend with as that pushes eastward and southeastward. The winds strengthen through the night, so they get stronger, especially after midnight. We could see gusts get up there over 40 miles per hour. The snow continues into the early hours of Sunday morning, but notice how the brunt of it starts to push to the southeast by 9 a.m. Southeast Nebraska. If you have plans to travel and you say you're down to the Kansas City area, it's going to be pretty rough going down there early on Sunday morning. Now, the winds are still very strong Sunday morning, so even as the snow comes to an end here in the Tri-Cities area, blowing snow is still going to be something to contend with early on Sunday morning. By Sunday afternoon, maybe sneaking in a little bit of sunshine. The wind's not as strong, but still quite blustery out there, just not as strong as what they'll be during the morning hours. These skies will continue to clear up for Sunday night, and as the winds die down, it's going to be a fairly cold night for Sunday night into Monday morning. But that storm system will be a distant memory and will return to quite a bit of sunshine, although temperatures really don't warm up much early next week. So the rest of that forecast, as I said, for early next week, we'll jump right to that end of that 7-day there, Monday and Tuesday. Mostly sunny skies return, but temperatures struggle with the fresh snow on the ground. Temperatures only warming up into the 30s, lows down in the teens. Still a little breezy on Monday, not as much wind on Tuesday. So a lot going on in that forecast. It's not a pretty forecast, especially for the weekend. If you have travel plans later Saturday night, Sunday, even after the snow comes to an end Sunday, with the winds being the way they are, travel may still be difficult through much of the day on Sunday. So if you have travel plans, I would say maybe either bump those up to Saturday or hold off until Monday if you can. If you're a good driver in the snow, maybe you can handle it. But just be very careful if you are going to be traveling over the weekend, especially Saturday night and Sunday. So there you go. We just to let you know, we will have no show tomorrow morning on our on Local 4 Today. No morning or midday show. There will be, I think, some evening shows out there. So over the next couple of nights, to get the latest on the forecast, I would say continue to tune in for Kit and for Tim as they'll be going the next couple of nights. The other thing I wanted to mention real quick here, I forgot to talk about this for the weekend. Snowfall totals. I don't want to get into too many details, but this is a quicker moving system, so there's not a big time frame for snow to fall. That's the good news. The bigger problem is the blowing snow. On the lower end of things, I would say 1 to 3 inches. On the higher end of things, 3 to 6 inches. That's kind of where I'm playing with right now, kind of in that range. Again, because we're still 4 or 5 days out from the system, I don't want to get into too many more details yet. But on the higher end, not much more than a half a foot. We're not talking about a foot, foot and a half of snow. This is too quick of a moving system out there. But again, even 1 to 3 inches of snow with blowing snow, that can be a problem out there, and visibility can still be quite poor for some time. Even after the snow's done, the snow can still blow around. So I forgot, I wanted to mention that to you before I let you go. But again, I'll be back on Friday morning. I'll do a new forecast for that, so I'll get another chance to do a forecast for the weekend. And then I'll get maybe a little bit better idea of snowfall potential totals for the upcoming weekend. So thank you all for tuning in this morning. I do appreciate it. I'll see you all again early on Friday morning. Hope you have a wonderful, happy Thanksgiving with your friends and family and whatever you might be doing. Take care. God bless.